Vinyl community, I'm coming right back at you. Do not get out of your seat. They're coming fast and furious today because I got time to make up. So, you know, about what, 3 months ago, it was Record Store Day 2019, and I made a video about 4 days after Record Store Day, and it's actually my most watched video ever. I think it has like over 2,000 views or something stupid like that. And anyway, I think I showed 10 albums that I picked up on Record Store Day. Anyway, as I've been flaunting across the continent for work, I would go into record stores and they'd have some leftovers. And actually, I was in a small town, Northern Ontario, a place called North Bay. And they had like their full display. I guess vinyl's not big in North Bay, but they had some hard to find Record Store Day purchases. Anyway, I have gotten another 10 Record Store Day 2019 in June that I'm going to show you. Now, one thing that I was looking for was the Van Morrison Astral Weeks 10-inch. This is alternative, much like Moondance, but unfortunately, I guess they just maybe didn't have the full album in outtakes, but this is 4 alternative versions from my favorite Van Morrison album. This has Beside You, Madame George, Ballerina, and the amazing Slim Slow Slider. Ballerina is 8 minutes long on this. 8 minutes. This is great. Sounds fantastic. If you're a Van the Man fan, hopefully you can find that somewhere. Next up, Greta Van Fleet. And yeah, I actually really like this album. Record Store Day, just on the black vinyl. This was their first album that I guess was hard to find. Maybe, I don't even know if it had come out on vinyl before Record Store Day. Anyway, you can get versions of this now. You don't have to get the Record Store Day version. Great album. If you don't know Greta Van Fleet, they kind of sound a little Led Zeppelin-y. Cheers. And I really like that album. So that's one there. The Piece de Resistance, the one that I really wanted on Record Store Day and could not get. This is Saucer Full of Secrets, the second Pink Floyd album, where they introduced David Gilmour and basically worked old Syd Barrett out of the band. This is redone on a Columbia. This is in mono. And this is the classic album remastered from the original mono mix. 180 gram vinyl. No info. Certainly not as well put together as last year's Piper at the Gates of Dawn. It does have the fake glued down edges. Nice and shiny on the cover. They did a good job with that. Sounds great. I'm a Pink Floyd fan. I can listen to any Floyd. And this is awesome. Then we got ourselves a little bit of Weezer. This is the Teal album. On Teal, I believe. Sort of this clear teal. This is their, what do you call it? My mind's gone blank. Copy album, where they play the hits of other people. This has Africa on it. But I will tell you that, so they do covers. It's a covers album, Edwin. It's a covers album. Anyway, Weezer, Teal album, Africa. Now, the song that's the best, though, is Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Their version of that is outstanding. They also do a really good version of Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. Take On Me from a-ha. Happy Together by the Turtles. Paranoid. They do a great Mr. Blue Sky. No Scrubs, which was that TLC, I think? Billie Jean and Stand By Me. It's a good fun album. People criticize this, but you know what? I throw it on and I really like it. So that's Weezer. Then I found the Badfinger So Fine, the Warner Brother Rarities. So this was their latter 2 albums. You might recognize those covers. This is on clear red vinyl on the Warner with the palm trees. I'm really getting into Badfinger. This was when they left Apple Records and went to Warner Brothers. This was the 2 albums after that. Quite a lot of write-up on the band. Tragic story. If you know nothing about Badfinger, like just Google them and watch some documentaries on YouTube. And yeah, you'll be bawling by the end of it. But they made good music. And although these aren't my favorite, I prefer the early Badfinger, but still nice to have. And sounds great. This was the REM Bingo Hand Job. This is a double live album from the band. Just on black vinyl. Now, as the story goes, this is from a live show at Borderline in 1991. And this was advertised as so this is at the Borderline in London, March 1991, and the marquee called the band Bingo Handjob, not REM. So nobody knew who was playing. And let me get this right. There are guests on this that joined them, and I cannot see who it is anywhere for the life of me. Sorry, I'm unprepared. Gosh, that's really gonna bug me now. Yeah, gosh darn it all. I think, I don't even want to guess. Oh, maybe see here. It doesn't say. So they all had these aliases. So this is REM here. Doc, Ophelia, Raoul, and Stinky. And then they had Spanish Charlie, Conrad, and Violet. I read who this was, and for the life of me, I can't remember. Interesting, I was loading these into Discogs, and for some reason, this is a very sought-after album. So I don't know how many they made on Record Store Day, but this is... yeah, sorry, I can't remember. Anyway, if you get a chance, you can look it up. And if you get a chance to hear this, this is Bingo Handjob by REM. This was the alternative Fleetwood Mac. This is the first Fleetwood Mac album a la Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham. This sounds really good. God Landslide, unbelievable. World Turning, I love that song. It's a good album, you could see what Lindsey and Stevie brought to the band, and there's nothing wrong with this. Sounds really good. And then we have, see, I found some good stuff. This is the 13th Floor Elevators. This is a mono version of their classic album. This is a limited edition picture disc. The psychedelic sounds of the 13th Floor Elevators. It sounds fine. I know picture discs aren't the way to go, but I just thought this was kind of cool. I do have a stereo version, and I just wanted a mono. And, normally the monos go for super big money, and I was just glad to pick this up. And I guess Mr. Erickson also left us recently, so rest in peace to him. This is Procol Harum on Fly Records. I think it's just called Procol Harum. This is on some kind of groovy vinyl. This, of course, has Whiter Shade of Pale and Conquistador. And there's a bonus material. with, I think, some live versions, things like that. Again, I've only listened to this once. It also comes with a cool poster, which I think is the cover. Is that for Psychedelia? You know, just the sound quality of having a great version of Whiter Shade of Pale. I always remember in the movie The Commitments, when he's talking to the priest, and the priest's favorite song is Whiter Shade of Pale. 2 left. This is Poppies. I know a lot of people talked about this. This is a psych rock from the Vanguard Original Sound and Stax Vaults. Includes the previously unreleased track When Will You Happen to Me by Human Jungle. I think one of the only people I really know on here is Buffy Sainte-Marie, because she's a bit of a Canadian icon. This is on red translucent vinyl. This is one that a lot of people showed on Record Store Day, and I was like, oh, that sounds good if I ever see that around. And I've only played side 1 once. But I like a little psych rock complimation. Words, the mouse not working very good today. And finally, I think one of my favorite pickups of Record Store Day that I have listened to this quite a few times, and I'd never heard the album before Record Store Day. This is Yes's first album, redone on Atlantic. Nice orange vinyl with the original Atlantic label. This sounds amazing, and I really like this album. This was 50th anniversary of this is an all analog cut by Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio. It's 180 gram neon orange vinyl, 50th anniversary edition, limited edition of 6,500. It's not really that limited, is it? If you can find this, I highly recommend this. This is a really good album. It's a little different sounding than what Yes went on to be, but I really like it. And I've really enjoyed listening to this and would give this full marks. And packaging was great, and I love that Yes logo. So there you have it. That's my Record Store Day update from Record Store Day 2019 in July. And yeah, I mean, you never know. Like, you just pop into some of these towns and, you know, I guess stuff's regional. Stuff sells better in some places than others. And, I mean, I didn't get these all in one lot. This was kind of, you know, over sort of the last 8 to 10 weeks or so. And anyway, happy to have those. So I guess I bought, like, what, over 20 albums for Record Store Day 2019. Ay. Anyway, that's why we do this. This is why we love the vinyl. And there you go. Hope you enjoyed that update, and I'll speak soon. Cheers, everybody.